scx24 Jenga Challenge, take 22.
Okay, so what we're going to do today is I wanted to kind of show you some of the mods that I've done. Like just all the mods I've done up to this point, good and bad. And then I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to show you under extreme conditions of how it performs. So if you've been following my channel, so to the one guy that does, whoever you are, thumbs up to you, brother. Thank you. Well, it could be a sister. I don't know. I don't know who follows my channel. But somebody does. Somebody's been following my channel. And they know that my ESC has burnt out. The forward has burnt out. Pretty much everything is burnt out except forward at high speed. That's the only thing that works. And it really only works in reverse at high speed, but I've kind of made a cord inside there to flop it, so now it only goes forward in high speed. And I thought this would be unique because with all the mods that I've done to this Jeep, I have not paid for any of them. I've done all of them for free. So I'd like you to see what I've done to my Jeep, and I want to show you how it performs. And just mind you, you know, when you look at this, it's performing under extreme conditions because I normally like to crawl in low gear. You know, so, you know, in low gear, I can crawl for about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, it's not enough power. And then you got to switch gears. You know what I'm talking about. You got to switch it to the next gear up. Then with the barrage motor, I'm hoping that I can crawl a little bit longer in first gear, but that's not here. So I just have the regular 88 turn motor that is stuck in forward only on high speed. So when you see the mods I've done and you see how my Jeep performs at forward at high speed, either be not too critical and say, wow, I can't believe that that stuff actually worked for you. Or you can say, wow, you should probably get you another body and start over. I don't know, one of the two. I just want to remind you that the charger that we use is a Spectrum charger. It's the S150. It's 30 bucks on Amazon. You can get the 309 adapter that fits the plug for the battery. But if it's not available, you can get the 310 and just easily modify it with one of these JST PH 2.0 kits, male-female. I just wanted to remind you all of that. So as you can see right now, my Jeep, I'm showing some pretty good flex with it. And all of these mods I've done are just things I can do on my own. So the first thing you see is I did add a flag. The flag is a piece of brake cable off of a bicycle. The actual flag itself is just a piece of vinyl tape folded in on itself. The hood scoop is just a mechanical pencil cap that's been kind of cut in half and shaved at an angle and glued on. The winch is a baby in the manger flipped upside down with two pieces of plastic on each side and a little thin piece of metal stripping there with some silver tinsel and a small fish hook that I've cut off to make there. So that's all of the cosmetic modifications. I have added two riders that sit in there. So there is two riders. I also trimmed off the battery post, added a magnet here. And I went with a piece of heavy metal right here just to add a little bit more weight to the front. I don't like the lights, the headlights hitting me in the eyes every time I steer it towards me. So I put the lights inside the cab so the light is more down towards where the front tires are. Makes it more functional, makes it more so I can see what I'm doing. The next thing I've done is I have flipped my shocks upside down. And I have added some Vaseline with cocoa butter in there. And my theory behind that is that the Vaseline will eventually leak out, but the cocoa butter should leave a film in there that should still dampen the shocks. And I have not filled this in a while, so it's not too bad, I don't think. And because the shocks are mounted upside down, then, you know, the fluid or the Vaseline or whatever you use doesn't leak out very fast. The next thing I've done is I've added a piece of bar weight right underneath here under the ESC tray. My total weight build on this truck, I'm looking for most of my weight to be located mostly in the middle and down low. The engineering on this truck, that's where they put the weight. They put most of the weight down low here in the middle and then spread it out on both sides. So I'm trying to augment this weight down low with this bar here. And with the barrage motor should be a little heavier as well. The next thing I've done is I've moved my shocks from the shock mounts here, and I've moved them over to forward of the shock mounts on the frame. Now, if you put them on the frame, I have had the shocks on the frame, it just makes the vehicle way too tippy. It makes it way too tippy. So this only adds a small, just a little bit of height to the back. But what I'm hoping it also does is it kind of pushes more of the weight forward on to the forward axle. And then in the very back, also, if you haven't done this, you should really do this. Is just get a pin and take the screws out, put a pin back here, fold it over on itself. Then, you know, when you have to work on the body, it's like this. You know, if you got a magnet, you flip it over, it's good to go. It's ready to go. If you pull that pin, it takes 2 seconds, the body's off. So the other thing is I widen the track bars on the rear differential with a windshield washer solvent repair kit. So that's how I did that. And that's pretty much most of the mods. You know, I did the other mod where you turn the bumper upside down 180 and you bring it up to give you a better approach. You know, all those little tiny things. And I have preloaded the rear shocks. The rear shocks have been preloaded. I did preload them to try and make sure that they grip the ground a little better when it's flexing. So when I tried it with the shocks in their normal spot and I did this experiment, this back tire would come off the ground. It would be off the ground about this high. And I know the lighting over here is really not great. But it would be off the ground about this high. When I moved the shocks forward, it brought the wheel down so it's actually touching. So, you know, we have 3 wheels on the ground. So I'm hoping that this flex gives me a little bit more travel when I'm climbing stuff. We're getting ready to find out how this works under extreme conditions. So mind you, they're going to be extreme conditions, so don't judge me too harshly.